Okay guys, so yesterday we create this topology. If you remember, I just changed the color. Okay, the lane is I put here as well. So lane is green. Okay, van is this purple, and blue is management, and red one is DMZ. So I just color the interfaces and I just make them in ascending order. That's it. This is the yesterday same topology which we create. Okay, so why not let's make a small lab so that we know how it is work. So in this topology I will use these devices where I circle them. I will use PC1, LAN switch, firewall 1, this WAN 1 interface, okay, and management. Definitely we need management. So I just want to create a initial working lab so at least this PC can reach to the internet so that we see how it is work things. Then we will start properly. One by one we will study each and everything. So let's go to this topology and start. So what I need to do, I want to start from firewall 1, which is my parameter firewall, either edge firewall. Okay, I already give you this image, so it will be pre-configured with these IPs. So if you click enter, so I'm using recently these two interfaces on this side, okay, 1 and 2. Okay, so no need to do anything here. However, by default port 1 is DHCP enabled, so it will get IP automatically. Normally we are using port 1 for management, but in this case we decide, because it's the blue color management, and this time we decide to use port 5 of all firewall as a management. So I need to configure this port 5 for management, and this is cloud. Basically I just changed the icon. It is basically cloud, and this cloud is connected to my management cloud 0. It means my same range 192.168.100. In your case it will be 0 or 1 or something, and 192.168 will be similar, I told you yesterday, so that I can access this firewall from my browser. So what I need to do, I need to go to this firewall and click on it. In your case it can be open in secure CRT, maybe it can be open in putty or super putty, whatever you set up. So let me enter, and username is admin by default because it's a fresh firewall, and there is no password, so you need to just enter, and you need to type a new password, so 123 and confirm 123. In real world you need to put a strong password, but in this case because this is a lab, so I just want to access these devices quickly. So this is my password. I am using this all the time. So I put 123 2 times, and now I'm logging. Okay, but if I check show system interface and question mark, so by default DHCP is enabled and port 1. So that's why it's get this IP 192.168.102. 102 WAN 1. So on WAN 1 it's get IP, but I cannot access this devices through WAN 1 because WAN 1 is connected there. I need to configure port 5 as a management. So what I can do, even though we will do CLI later in the course in detail, what is show, what is system, what is interfaces, how to check, how to get help, but anyway here because we want to start and show you initial working lab, so what I will do, I will go to config, and then better to change the name as well, because by default the host name is Fortigate VM something, and here I give them a name FW1, means firewall 1. So why not change the name as well? So what I can do, I need to go to config system global, global, yeah, and here I need to set the host name. This the command, set host name and firewall 1, and end means to kick out from here. And now you can see the name has been changed to FW1. That's what we want. So that's the first thing. Control L to clear the screen if you want to clear the screen, like a Linux. In Linux we also use this shortcut Control L. Now next thing what I need to do, I need to configure port 5. So how I can go to port 5? Config system interface. Okay, now which interface? There are 1 2 3 4 interface. So type edit port 1, tab again, 2, tab again. You can type and you can tab as well. 4 and 5. Now I am in edit port 5 and enter. And here is, now they say that from interface you jump to port 5 and you can type show command as well. There is no IP configure, there is nothing. So first thing I need to configure IP. So why not change the mode as well? Set mode to static. You can change them to DHCP and you can change them to a static. You need to assign static IP. Next thing what I need to do, I need to set IP. Set IP, and which IP we decide? It's here 192.168. In your case, beside management, everything you can keep the same, but management should be different in your case. But in my case it's 100, so I will type 192.168 100. If you are in KSA, then you can keep the same range as well, management. And 200, this is what we decide, and /24 is this subnet mask. Okay, you can type 255 3 times either 24 and enter. Next thing, because management is only enabled by default in port 1, so I need to enable set allow access. What I need to allow? HTTP, HTTPS, I need to allow ping, I need to allow telnet, I need to allow SSH. These are enough. By the way, I just need only ping and HTTP. HTTPS is not working because this is a demo license. Okay, so anyway, I will enter, and that's it, we are done. This is the minimum configuration you need to do. I change the host name, and next I set the IP address, and I allowed HTTP ping and these things. So now because I'm connected through this switch here through management, so I can type this IP in the browser now. So let's go to this IP 192.168 and 100.200. Sorry, 192, and here is 100.200 and enter. Okay, it's HTTP. Okay, now it's HTTPS. So username is admin and password we set 123. So now I open the first firewall, this one, through management. Okay, so first thing it will ask you, you want to set up the dashboard, because we already set up the host name, we already changed the password, so 2 things is done, and upgrade is not yet. So dashboard, so click begin. It's better to change them now. We will discuss this later on. There are 2 types of dashboard which you can use. Comprehensive, it will show you more detail if you are used to with the old firewall, Fortigate firewall dashboard, so you can use comprehensive. In this case I will use optimal. This just the dashboard lookup, how you want to see the dashboard. Okay, so anyway, I will choose the optimal and click OK. That's it, and we are done. It will show you this window. It said don't show me every time, and click OK. So now I'm logged to this firewall. Okay, with a dashboard, we change the name to FW1. Okay, and this the dashboard, this the optimal dashboard. It will show you these things. I will show you the other dashboard as well later in the course, but anyway, this the dashboard. It will show you all these detail. Okay, so we initially configure this firewall. We go to global, we change the name, and then we set port 5 to mode static, and we set the IP, and we allowed a few things. Okay, we will discuss these as well. These are administrative access which you want to allow on this interface. Normally in other interface beside management, we just allowed ping, so that at least through this interface we can reach and we can check as well. Then I type the IP in the browser and I open this one. Now I need to set up the interfaces. It's better to set up the interfaces. So as per my topology, port 5 is management interface. So let's go to port 5. How we can go to network, and here these are interfaces. So I click on interfaces, and let's go to 5, and let's give them alias. So this is just the name, so at least we know which port is which thing. So MGM, MGMT, I just give them management. Okay, that's it. And manual IP, and these things are allowed. Ping, HTTP, SSH on this port because this is a management port, and click OK. So one interface we just give them a name, so at least it will be easy for us. Next interface I need to configure is LAN. LAN is port 3 in our topology. So let's go to port 3 and change the name. So port 3 is this one. Okay, and let's change the name to LAN. And also you can assign predefined role. There is LAN, WAN, DMZ and undefined. So because this one is, there is no management, so we choose that, in that case undefined. So this case I will say LAN. This is just the name, we will discuss in detail, but anyway. And this is the alias, I give them LAN. And what we decide the IP for LAN, this the IP 10.0.1.254. So let me copy this one, Control C, and let's go to manual and put this one and change this to 254. Okay, but at least in administrative access allow ping so that we can reach to this interface and verify. So I allowed ping, no need to allow any other thing. This is just for management purpose, and we don't want to access this firewall on this interface, so no need, and click OK. So my second interface is done. We done management interface and then we done LAN interface. Okay, now I need to go to port 4, which is our DMZ, and DMZ has basically 2 IP setup. So I will leave this port right now. At least you can change the name, because here we will make them trunk, which is in the next lab. So I need to go to port 4, which is this one, and at least I will give them DMZ, and also the role will be DMZ, and that's it, and allowed ping. Why I'm not setting the IP? Because here I want to show you in next lab something else. Okay, now coming to port 4, 1 and 2, these two are my WAN. 2 WAN is coming to here. Suppose if 1 is down, so we have at least connectivity to the internet. But because we will do many lab related to this SD-WAN and many other, so right now I just need the first one. At least I need connectivity to say I can reach to the internet. Later we will do both. So port 1 is WAN 1, either ISP1, whatever you give them. So let's go to port 1 and let's change the name to WAN 1. So I give them WAN 1 and role is WAN. No need estimate bandwidth, how much is upstream and downstream, you can leave them. And it's get IP through DHCP here, because there is DHCP also enabled. So it get the range 192.168.1 range IP automatically, because on port 1 I told you DHCP is enabled, but you can make them manual as well. And we decide the first IP. So let me change this to 192.168, this range, the first 192.168.1.1, and you can type the subnet mask this way, and also you can type 24, it's up to you. And I don't need to enable HTTP and Forti manager, SSH, just need ping, because this is our WAN interface, so that nobody can access our devices graphically. Okay, that's it, and WAN 1, and we are done, and click OK. At least why not, let's give them a name to the other interface. Right now we don't need, but at least let's give them a name WAN 2, which is port 2. So let me go to port 2, and the alias should be WAN 2, and role will be WAN. And I don't want to assign. If you want, we can assign. Let's assign DHCP, it will get, and then we'll make them static. Okay, because DHCP is enabled here as well, so it will give them a range 2 range IP. So let's see WAN 2. Okay, you need to refresh, it will take some time to get the IP from 2 range. Okay, it's get, yeah, automatically 12, but we don't need 12. We decide to give them the first one, even though you can keep 12 as well, it's not necessary anything, and that's it. So we just assign naming. Okay, management interface, LAN interface, DMZ, WAN 1 and WAN 2. Okay, and we assign IP to LAN, we assign to IP management, and also to WAN. We are not going to assign IP right now to DMZ, because we want to test something else. This is the first step in initial working lab. Forget about what is coming to you, we will discuss this in detail. Done. So this is WAN and WAN 2, and these all interfaces are done. I mentioned here as well. And let me go to next step which we need. Next step, we need to configure DNS. Again, we will discuss DNS in detail, why we need DNS. But right now I need a DNS as well. So when these people going out, they require a DNS for translation. from domain name to IP and IP to domain name. So what I can do, I need to go to firewall 1 again, and I need to go to the second step in network. There is a DNS. By default they are using primary DNS and secondary DNS of Fortigate, okay, but I want to assign my own. So click on specify and type here 8.8.8, and second one is 1.1.1. These two are the fastest DNS, so I will use these two. Okay, forget about this one, we will discuss in detail if you want to encrypt DNS and if you want other thing, so we can do it. And also you can type local domain name. Later in the course we will do. Let me type here, which I told you yesterday in the lab, that I will configure Active Directory here with the name test.local. So you can type in advance, either later on I will come to this place and will type. Anyway, I type and we are done. So DNS is configured. Let's go to next step. There is by default DNS and we change them to 8 and 11, which we want. Next thing, we need a default route. So when the traffic coming from here and they want to reach to internet, so there should be a route to send each and every traffic to 1.254, because the last IP is 254 here. They will give everything to this IP, and then this WAN is already configured default route to send each and everything to this IP. Okay, so we don't need to worry about this side. My gateway next hop is 254, 1.254 and 2.254, but in this case I want to use only one link. So what I need to do, I need to configure default route. Let's go to network, and there is static route, configure static route. There is nothing configured, so create new. Okay, and 00 means anything and any subnet mask. Gateway address I told you. In this case I want to use the first interface, so I copy this one and let me gateway, and let me change this to 254. By the way, 254 is here. I told you this is the last IP of the gateway, so this is the IP. Okay, so I say this, and automatically is get WAN 1. That's why I give them the name, so it's easy to distinguish them. So port 1, WAN 1 is get automatically. Administrative distance we will discuss in routing, why we need, and also there is priority as well, again we will discuss. And status I want to keep this enable, and done. So route is done. We have now one route, so at least we can go out. Done. Next thing what I need now a policy. I need a policy, so when the traffic coming from LAN side from this PC, okay, so it will be blocked by default, because there is only one policy by default which block each and everything. So what I need to do, I need to go to firewall 1 again, click policy and object, and go to firewall policy, and there is only one default policy, implicit deny. Everything is deny, which is at the end. Okay, this is like a ACL.
Sir, 1 second.
Yes.
Sir, our firewall external IP, what is it?
Firewall.
External interface IP.
Sorry.
Our firewall. Our firewall's external IP, sir. External interface IP.
This one.
Our side, external firewall external IP.
External IP is this one, 192.168.1.1, and this the gate.
1.1, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, other side is 254.
Yes, yeah, 254. And this the same. I share you this image. It will be the same. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so this is implicit deny. I need to allow the traffic. So create new. Forget about what is source, destination. We will discuss in detail. So create new. Okay, and let me say that allow LAN to internet. That's the name, whatever the name you want to give. Incoming traffic, that's why I give them the name initially. Now it's easy to distinguish them. So port 1 and port 2 are WAN and WAN 2. These are the IP 2.1 and 1.1. And LAN we assign 10.0.1 to yes. I want the traffic from LAN, and if they want to go to WAN 1, right now I'm not using WAN 2. Okay, and source, from where the traffic will come. By the way, the traffic will come 10.0.1.0. So I can create object as well, but right now to make them easy, I will say I want to allow all the traffic. 0.0.0 means any traffic. destination where they want to go, so it can be internet anywhere, so I say all. And which services, by the way, we just need http, https and dns, but in this case I will say all. They can go to ftp, tftp, http, https, dns, tftp, so I don't care. And action is accept definitely. And here I will enable net, because net is also required, so that because they are using private IP, they has to be converted in 192.168.1, and then they will net. There is also net configure, they will net them, and this will also net them, because this is our lab, and real world it should be public IP and they will net them. So net has to be enabled. I don't want security profile right now, in detail we will discuss, but at least I need the logs so that I can see them here in dashboard. So just click here, all session. So whenever the traffic is coming, going anywhere, so it will generate logs, and we can see those logs here. Later on I will show you, and click OK. That's it. So now I have a policy as well. Let's go what else we need. So we create a policy. This is the policy to and allowed the traffic, and also I enable all session. Okay, so firewall policy is ready. Now I need to configure PC, and the last step is to test them that everything is working or not. So here in this LAN I have one PC here. Let me open this PC. In this case I am using window. Password is test123 by default, T in uppercase. Okay, so let me go to PC1. By the way, you can use Docker, which I share the Linux image, but the reason is later on we will join the domain, so that's why I'm using window PC here. So the first thing I need to assign IP, which we decide. So let's go to interface, and let's go to network, and let's go to properties. Okay, uncheck IPv6, we don't need, and go to IPv4 and assign IP. What is the IP? 10.0.1.1. However, the subnet mask is 255, 255 and 255 three times. You need to be careful about this one. And gateway we already done. Gateway is 10.0.1.254, which is the firewall interface IP, LAN interface IP. If I go to interface, so this is the gateway, LAN 10.0.1.254. So let me go back and type 10.0.1, last IP is the gateway. And definitely DNS, we already set up there 8 and also 1.1.1. And that's it, our PC IP is configured. Okay, and close this one, and close this one. Now we need to test that internet is working or not. Okay, so we assign the IP I mentioned here, and now I need to ping any IP outside the internet, any internet browsing, and then we will verify this from the dashboard. So let's go to this PC, and let's first cancel this one, and let's IP config. So this is my IP. Let's ping our gateway 10.0.1.254. So yes, I am reachable to my gateway, which is firewall IP, and I allowed on this interface ping. You see, this why is pinging. If it is not enabled, it will not ping. Are you asking me something? If no, so please keep mute. Okay, next thing I need to ping any external IP. So yes, I'm reachable to 888. Okay, so that's great. And now let's open any browser and see the browsing as well. Said browsing is working or not, then we will satisfy that yes, everything is working. So let's go to google.com, and let's see, can I open this website, and also let's open Facebook as well. Facebook.com. Okay, and here I believe it's going to open. Yeah, so it's working. Google is open, and also a bit later Facebook will open. Yes, so it's working. So this was just initial working lab, so that at least we can test. So basically we test this place. Okay, and also we done management part as well, so at least we can get some idea that how it is working. Okay, so it's working. Now we need to verify. Go to firewall and click on dashboard. Okay, and if you go to 40 source, so it will show you the source. So source is 10.0.1.1. let's see, source is there, yes, 10.0.1.1, and device is this is Windows sign. Okay, and this is Windows 7 operating system. IP is 10.0.1, MAC address is this one, and that much byte and session and bandwidth. So source. Now destination, we went to Facebook, and also we done ping. So ping is here, and also there is Google, and also Facebook is there. Also application is not yet. Okay, and website, so it will show you. And policy, we create only one policy which they use, allowed LAN to internet. And also session, it will show you all the session which they created. So this is TCP session, they use DNS, they use ping, they use all those which we will do in detail, but anyway it's here as well. Source IP is 10.1.1, user PC, this is the device name, this is the destination, application is 443, protocol TCP, source port, and all those detail. Also you can verify from log and report as well. Forwarding traffic, after, sorry, let me remove this one, and after a while you will see the traffic. Here is 6 seconds ago, 10.0.1 user PC, destination interface the use when 1, and they went outside, you can see, and they went outside. So you can verify from here as well. So let's go back and we verify from destination, source, and also session. We went a policy, we check policy, forwarding traffic as well. Okay, so it's been working, and it was initial working lab. So initial working lab, we just touch FW1, we change the host name, we assign IP address, we allowed management protocol on this port 5, then we access this one, then we change the interface's name. Okay, then we assign interface's IP, then we create a default route, then we configure DNS, and finally we test them and everything is working. Okay.